Welcome everybody to Chronicles Battle for Greece. This indeed is the new upcoming expansion for AoE2-DE. It is, I think, going to be released in November sometime. I don't know the exact date, but myself, along with a bunch of other content creators, as is usually the case, did get early access to this DLC to bring you guys some content. And man, is this an interesting DLC. It's definitely not like anything we've had in the game before. So, as you can see, right off the bat, you have its own section here. Like, it's separate from regular AoE2-DE, it's separate from Return of Rome, and this is going to be kind of its own thing. So, what is this DLC all about? Well, you should know right off the bat, it is first and foremost a single-player DLC. There is no content for ranked multiplayer as far as I am aware. That said, there is a lot of single-player content. This is definitely way broader in scope than Victors and Vanquished. So, what is added in this DLC? You have 3 new civilizations and a whole new campaign. And it is, like I said, pretty different. It is the new civilizations, the Achaemenids, the Athenians, and the Spartans, of course, battling it out for Greece in ancient times. And these civilizations are really, really different. They are only going to be available in single player and in custom games, and of course in the campaigns. And you can see right here, I'll get into the civs more in a little bit, but they are completely reworked AoE2 civs to be appropriate for the Age of Empires 1 time frame. So it's like you have guardsmen instead of pikemen, and I guess you have raiders instead of hussars, lancers, and all that stuff. So I'll be getting into this more in a little bit. There are some new unique technologies and buildings and units and all that stuff. We'll get to that in a little bit. But for the time being, suffice to say, this is going to be quite different. It's not like Return of Rome, where it's completely just AoE1 and AoE2. Like, these are AoE2 civs. And you can see here, you can play the 3 new civilizations alongside all of the regular AoE2 civs. But again, only in single player and in custom games with your friends. Also, I think you can do... Actually, I had no idea. I think you can do, like, random across those civilizations or something? I have no idea, but they got some stars here, and everyone loves stars. So, what is the Grand Campaign? Now, I can't show you guys footage of this yet. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell you when I am allowed to show you footage of the campaign, but just know that this campaign will be done. And once I am able to bring you the campaign, once, I'm allowed to do so from World's Edge, I will be showing this to you guys. The big thing here is that it is one, continuous story, as you can see. It's a whole different little graphic overlay. And decisions you make in one scenario will affect your outcomes or bonuses or something like that in subsequent scenarios. So this has never been done in AoE2 before. So I think it's like if I make a decision, I get some units in like the first scenario, I'll get those same units in like the, scenarios moving forward. I don't know exactly how all this works yet because, well, I haven't played it yet. But that is how it's going to be going. And I guess you get the maps here. Again, it's just a little bit of a different UI theme. And there's what? 6 plus... Make that 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 22 scenarios or something like that. So there are a lot of scenarios in this campaign. There's plenty going on with it. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing how it plays out. So, if you're looking for ranked multiplayer content, this just isn't the DLC for you. I don't think this should have any impact in the tournament scene or anything like that. There will be a separate balance patch, which I'll go through in its own video, if you are really more interested in the ranked multiplayer side of things. That said, let's take a look at these new civilizations just for funsies. I don't know why we're going to Dravidians right away. First, before I even talk about, like, the Achaemenids, we have the, I guess the reskinned units. So you have bowmen, laminated bowmen, and recurve bowmen are literally just, as far as I'm aware, reskins of the archer line. Skirmishers and elite skirmishers, reskinned, but otherwise functionally the same. Cav archers, same deal there. Thumbring Parthian tactics does the exact same thing. I think the Gastrophitos is just an Athenian thing, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so that's literally an Athenian unique unit. So we'll get to that in a little bit. You have hoplites, which are going to be available to the Greek side of things. And then you just have, for the Achaemenids here, which are the Persians, in case you don't know. That is going to be, again, just reskins here. A Paragon. Yeah, I guess that's just sort of like a two-handed swordsman. Not even quite as good. At the stable, you have the Scout line, which is functionally the same, Lancers, which I'm pretty sure are exactly the Knight line, and then you have War Chariots. Now, War Chariots are kind of interesting because they cost wood and gold instead of, food and gold like all the other stable units, and they deal trample damage. So they are kind of like Knights, but they have less armor, less attack, they cost wood, and they deal trample damage. So kind of its own thing. At the Siege Workshop, no Bombard Cannons, duh. And no Siege Onagers. That said, you have all the other stuff here. At the Blacksmith, everything's the same. This is kind of interesting, and I wonder if this is like let's try something here and see if it would work in AoE 2, because I know people like T90 are really not a fan of how the dock works right now. You have ports, and you have shipyards. Ports are basically economic docks. You make transport ships, fishing ships, Lembos, which apparently is your elven bread. So those are like trash ships, which is kind of interesting. Gill nets is called scoop nets. Drums is basically the effect of dry dock. Shipwright is shipwright. Then you have monorems, which are kind of interesting because if I recall correctly, these ships are basically water Shrivamsha riders. So they deal melee damage, I think. And they absorb enemy, galley fire, and then punch you down in close range. Then you have the incendiary wraths and ships, which are literally demo ships. I think a little bit weaker, though. And then the galley line is the galley line. Catapult ships are basically going to be Drummonds. Hippozomata is careening. Leviathan. And this makes nearby warships attack faster. So yeah, this is its own little ship, and it requires flaming arrows, which is chemistry. Meanwhile, University. Target practice is ballistics. It's literally ballistics. Flaming arrows, like I said, is chemistry. Most of these techs are the same. Lighthouse is heated shot, and yeah, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Guard tower and bastion is just, again, renamed to, guard tower and keep. Walls are the same. Castles are replaced by forts. Again, it is exactly the same. It is just a rename. You have your unique unit, like most AoE 2 civs, but you also have very different style of unique tech, and each of the new civilizations has that. You essentially have 4 unique techs, but if you research one, you can't research the other. So you can only pick one unique tech at a time in a game. That's already a little bit different. At the temple, which is just the monastery, we have a priestess. Is it a priestess for all of them? Yeah, I guess it's a priestess for all of them. Evocatio is redemption. It's literally redemption. Syncreticism is atonement. Herbal medicine is herbal medicine. Hemlock is heresy. Going full Socrates, right? Apotropaic magic is sanctity. Fervor is fervor. Exorcism is faith. Purification is... I thought for a second that read putrefaction. Makes enemies smelly. So, yep, that is essentially illumination. Haru Spicy is block printing. And Mystery Cults is theocracy. So just rename techs. Everything is exactly the same, or just a reskinned version of an existing tech. This is, again, something that is a little bit special to these civilizations. Essentially, you can change your town centers to be basically focusing on a different specialty. Then over here, I think everything is exactly the same. All right. So, with that in mind, let's get into these civilizations. We're going to start with the Achaemenids, of course. So, they are an archer and cavalry civilization. Their shipyards work 15% faster, which, remember, are our military docks. So, you can see here, you don't have all of the dock things, but they do work faster, just flat 15%. Town centers can be individually upgraded to be more powerful starting in the Civic Age, which is just the renamed Feudal Age. So, you have an economic TC, which makes all nearby villagers work 15% faster, which is insane. Upgrades this to a military TC, which makes nearby military production buildings work 50% faster, which is, again, insane. And a defensive town center. Also, these do cost resources. Defensive TC, which increases its durability, firepower, and make all nearby units attack 15% faster. So, like, all 3 of these would be ridiculously broken in ranked AoE 2. So, yeah, that is not, that is one of the good reasons why this is not in ranked. I'll do my best to show off the unique units in just a little bit. I'll go into the editor for you guys. Unique units is the Immortal, which I'll show off in a minute. Unique text, we have Sparabaras. Spearmen give +1 pierce armor to nearby units. And yeah, there's a lot of aura effects, which I'm not really a big fan of for AoE2, but again, this is kind of its own thing, so I don't really care. So Spearmen give 1 pierce armor to nearby units, so it is an infantry boost to the Achaemenids, but hey, +1 pierce armor is pretty nice, although you're working with mostly archers and range units and cavalry units in this, so you kind of can go like a cav archer route or a foot archer route, depending on the situation. And then if you're going for the more foot archery, slow push style, this is probably pretty good. Reed arrows, meanwhile, archers, ranged immortals, and galleys fire 25% faster. So remember, you can only research one of these at a time in a game. And then in the Imperial Age, you have scythe chariots. So you gain increased trample radius, and it disables Carda. And Carda is infantry and archers gain +15% HP. So again, you can take that more mobility-oriented route, or you can take the more foot soldier-oriented route with this civilization. Then, the unique unit is the Immortal, and it has a hardened shield and gets extra bonus damage versus armored units. Exactly. Let me jump into the editor. Alrighty, guys, we are here in the editor, and here we can show off the new architecture sets as well. So we have, this is the Achaemenids. They have their own unique architecture set. We'll just do ages to show you guys throughout the ages, just some examples of buildings. And this is also where we can get the economic TC, the military TC, and the defensive TC. So we can get all of those starting in this age, and you can see that once you research one, it is stuck like that forever and ever. So you can't like switch between them, but you can do it with each subsequent TC. I'll just oh, I have to be the next age. Anyway, here is the what do they call it? Classical age. So you can see that every time here you build a new TC, and you also have a little bit of a different look to it. You can see that you've got different stats. Sorry, Bill. All right, now, as far as the units go, the unique units, we have the Immortal. And this is it without any upgrades whatsoever. It is an infantry/range unit. If you think about, like, the original version of the Samurai in Age of Kings, and there's the Imperial Age, by the way, it's basically that. So in melee mode, it's faster than an average infantry. Again, this is without any upgrades. It has a quick attack speed, good pierce armor, medium attack, but very low HP. That is definitely the big weakness of the unit. It also costs 50 food, 20 gold, so it's pretty cheap. But of course, it can switch into the ranged mode, where it essentially becomes a short-range crossbowman with a good attack speed and extra HP. And you can see here, as far as like upgrades it benefits from, it does benefit from Thumb Ring. The melee version, whoops. It should benefit from Squires, or whatever they call it now. Yeah, both versions benefit from Squires. I imagine it's just the melee one that benefits from Arson. And as far as blacksmith upgrades go, it is literally just, it's exactly what you'd expect. The range one benefits from the range upgrades, but it is still an infantry unit, kind of like the Ratha, right? How it's always a cav archer unit. This is always still an infantry unit. Anyway, here are the stats for the elite one. Basically, a little bit more HP. It's still, the HP is the biggest downside of this unit. But still pretty good armor. 5 range in the Imperial Age is really important, because at least you can match the ARB at that point. A very quick attack speed, though, is nice. So honestly, it feels like a pretty decent archer that can also be a melee unit, and is also pretty fast. Anyway, the other unique unit here for the Achaemenids is going to be the War Chariot. As you can see here, it has 0.5 trample radius, so that's actually really, really good. That's, you know, like a Druzhina or Logistica, and it's basically built into the unit. Other than that, it is basically kind of like a knight. Very poor armor, just 1 melee armor, 0 pierce armor, same HP as a knight, same reload time, same movement speed as a knight. Bloodlines and husbandry affect them just like you would imagine. And then there is the Elite War Chariot upgrade, which still the 0.5 trample damage radius, 160 HP with bloodlines, so that is actually pretty darn solid. A little bit more armor, and that is basically this unit. And that is basically the Achaemenids as a civilization, so you can do a little bit of everything, honestly. You have like a good navy, good archers, your infantry is pretty bad, but at the same time, you do have, you know, great cavalry and an infantry unique unit. So yeah, you have a lot of options with this civilization, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Again, it's like hard to say because normally the competitive player in me is like, oh, none of this matters anyway. But still, if you are interested in this, this is the Achaemenids. All right, our next civilization is going to be the Athenians, and they are an infantry and naval civilization, as one might expect. So their whole thing is that their policy style can be changed between economic, naval, and military at the town center. So just like how the Achaemenid TCs are like individually changed, the economic policy or various policies, they cost gold to change, and they can do it from the very beginning of the game. I guess you start with an economic policy. Yeah, you start with an economic policy, and then you can kind of switch back and forth. But you can see here you get an increase in gold cost, but it's only up to 150, so it's honestly not that bad. And you can just switch that basically whenever you want. And the 3 different policies: villagers work faster. No idea how much faster, but they sure work faster. Naval policy is archers and warships train faster and 15% less gold, so that is going to be good for, well, archers and navy. And then the military policy is melee units train faster and gain gold for killing enemy units. So basically you can just switch that throughout the game depending on what you need. But yeah, it does become progressively more expensive. Lumberjacks slowly generate food. I guess you can just eat wood with the Athenians. And your hoplites move 15% faster. That is a regional unit for the Greeks and Spartans. Or I guess the Athenians and Spartans, rather. Unique unit is going to be the Strategos, as well as the Gastrophetes. I don't know why that's not listed as a unique unit, but this is an infantry that I will show off in a little bit, but it is basically a big, heavy, strong infantry. Unique techs. You have Taxiarchs, which means the Strategoi give an additional 1 attack to nearby melee units, and their aura becomes larger. So basically your buff area is stronger. And then Iphicratian Tactics is skirmishers get a +4 charge attack on their projectile. So basically you make your unique infantry unit stronger or your skirm stronger. Then in Imperial Age, you have Isphora, which is 33% of the hoplite gold cost is replaced with an additional food cost, which hoplites are 30 gold, 55 food, so it just makes them not a trash unit, but at least much cheaper. And then the Delian League, Bowmen and Gastrophetoi move 10% faster. So again, you can sort of work with your archers or infantry. Oh, their team bonus is also that shipyard techs research faster. I forgot to mention, I think, for the Achaemenids, but their houses are built 100% faster. Honestly, some of these are decent for AoE2, like regular civs, so hopefully that's not like completely ruled out. Anyway, as far as the tech tree goes, you can see that you have good foot archers as the Athenians, no cav archers. No good cav archers, but that's not too big of a deal. Lots of good infantry options. You don't have battle drills, though, which is basically extra attack for your swordsmen. This is actually a unique tech of the Spartans. Your cavalry is pretty bad. Your siege, you miss siege ramps, so that's also pretty bad. Again, you miss plate barding armor for your cavalry. You don't have the last trash ship upgrade, but you have everything else. University looks quite good. All of this is open. Your monks are excellent. And all of that is a super open tech tree as well. So basically, not great cavalry, not great siege, good everything else. Now, to go over to the unique units. Well, first, let's advance in age. You can see this is the Feudal Age architecture set, or Civic Age, Classical Age, and the Imperial Age. Kind of have that AoE1 Greek-style TC vibe in mind. Also, I forgot to make some hoplites. All right, so let's start with the Castle Unique unit, though. This is the Strategos, and what this does is it boosts the attack of nearby units, giving it +1 extra attack. And this is all units, so if I make a bowman over here, it should be getting +1 attack. And now +2 attack because there is a second one nearby. Or an elite one nearby. The elites give +2 attack. So, other than that, its stats, it has very bad armor. It's pretty slow. Has pretty low HP too. So it's kind of a support unit, but it's also, you know, it's a melee unit, but at the same time, you know, it's a little bit tricky, right? It's going to be difficult to keep alive, but you also kind of need it at the front-ish lines. The elite one has a lot of attack. I mean, both these units have a lot of attack. But still, the very low HP and armor as a support unit is pretty tricky. Also, I think if I make a bunch of these... Yeah, they don't stack. You just get +1 if there's one Strategos nearby. So I'm not too sure how useful this is, in all honesty. The Hoplite, this is, again, it's a regional unit. Also, it has slight range. Not Kamiuk, but still, it's got a little bit of extra range. And what this does, you can see that they are also pretty fast. Low HP, but if you make multiple hoplites, they essentially increase, if you have like 2 or more hoplites, they will have extra armor. And that's like their thing. But this only affects other hoplites, so this, you know, swordsman militia unit is not affected. Still, good armor, decent range, but still very, very low HP in Castle Age. That's it. If we go over to the Elite Hoplite, and boom, 70 HP, which is the same as a champion. You still get the... Wait, why is it only giving the... Oh yeah, you get +1/+1 pierce armor. So yeah, the elite ones give you extra pierce armor too. This is before you get all the blacksmith upgrades, so you can see that with all the blacksmith upgrades, you're looking at 7/6 armor on a unit. And they'll be together, and they'll do lots of poking, and I'm sure that is going to be sort of your main unit in the late game. You know, you have a bunch of hoplites behind your strategos. The strategos gives the extra attack, and then the hoplites give each other extra defense. So it's a lot of aura bonuses stacking on top of each other. Also, the wonders all look fantastic, by the way. Beautiful little Athena right there. Your last unique unit is the Gastrophedes. This is a very slow-moving archer that has a very high attack, or it has great range. And you can see it does not benefit from regular archer upgrades, so it's just stuck at 7 range. So I guess it's actually not that great range. But 17 attack is still pretty darn good. I think you get the defense upgrades. Yes, you do. 3.45 reload time. You can only make it in the Imperial Age. And I think... yeah, you also have to research chemistry to get it. So this is basically a hand cannoneer. Actually, now that I think about it, it's literally a hand cannoneer. So yeah, guys, these are the Athenians. Great infantry that you kind of want to build up together. Great navy and good economy. So those are really the things that the civ does well. Not really a very mobile civ, though. I mean, except on the water. Last but not least, we find ourselves with the Spartans. Of course, that we have to have Athens and Sparta being BFFs together. So, they are an infantry civilization. A polemark is created for free in both the civic and classical age. So in feudal and castle age, I'll show you those off in a minute, but they're free from the TC. Villagers and fishing ships drop off 10% more food, which is just like a really sick food bonus. Like it's an insane food bonus. And then elite hoplite is available in the classical age or castle age. So you also have the hoplites, and they are going to be very good. Yeah, you have the polemark and Hippeus as your infantry unique units. Battle drills is, like I said, also a special unique tech for the civ. Their barracks techs also research faster. And then you can see here their unique techs. Helot levies. Spearmen, skirmishers, and villagers train 50% faster. That is pretty ridiculous. So that is going to be a crazy booming tech, and I'm sure I'll be getting that in the campaigns. And then there's Xiphos. Hoplites and monoromes get +1 attack for every 10 nearby enemy military units. So basically, your hoplites are better the more enemy units there are, and also the monorems are your Trivamsha ships, I think. Then, in the Imperial Age, you have Cryptea. Infantry receive 33% less bonus damage, so yeah, basically turn yourself into Sicilians. And then the Peloponnesian League, warships train 50% faster, and forts slowly generate gold. So more of a naval bonus versus an infantry bonus and defensive bonus. Now, as far as the tech tree goes, your archers are very bad. I guess I first show off the blacksmith. You just miss ring archer armor. Yeah, not really the greatest archery range in the world. I guess your skirms can be serviceable, but yeah, you don't really want to work with these units if you don't have to. Infantry, obviously great. You have everything there, including your very good hoplites. And remember, you get extra attack, basically, versus... I mean, it's just make your infantry more gooder. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on. Am I... Yeah, battle drills is something that's only for the ancient civs. What I was confused by was the fact that it mentions... Oh, you get +2 versus eagle warriors, which is kind of weird. It's like... I don't know. Anyway, your cavalry is very bad with the Spartans. Again, you're all about infantry. Your siege is better than the Athenians, though, for sure. Like I said, you missed the last armor upgrade. You missed shipwright because you can make your ships train really fast, so that kind of makes sense. You missed the elite galley, which means you're kind of relying on all of your other ships, which is a little bit awkward. Your university is terrible because you're the Spartans. You're about fighting. And, of course, you have no walls. That ain't no army. Your temple is also pretty bad. And your eco, well, you just missed gold shaft mining. That's not the end of the world. Also, you have 2 additional unique techs. So, polemark aura radius increased and also makes nearby military units regenerate HP. And Morai is the aura radius increased and also makes nearby military units move faster. So, regenerate HP or move faster. And both increase the radius, and that is it. Also, there is Scouforoi, so you get +2 attack and a shield against projectiles, and they are extra gooder. So, basically, what is this all about? First, we can see the pole marks here. They are basically hero units. So right here I am in the Dark Age. Keep on forgetting to build Dark Age buildings. And you can see, oh, I guess it doesn't count. So yeah, you can see you get a pole mark for free. And what this does is, yeah, it makes nearby military units attack faster. They are immune to conversion and slowly regenerate HP. And you're limited to 1 or 2 at a time. So it's literally a free infantry unit that would be absurdly broken in multiplayer. Just getting literally a free, decent enough unit with 2 pierce armor and 1 melee armor. And you can see that, I don't know why I'm able to make 3 of them. I thought you were limited to 1. Huh. Regardless, you go up to Castlate and we get another one for free. So I guess we can have a few of them at the same time. They also get extra stats at this point, making the nearby units stronger. We can get our unique techs all at this point. This gives them the Shrivamsha shield and the extra attack. And we can either get, you know, faster movement or faster attack speed. And that is all good in the hood. Meanwhile, you have the Hippeus as your castle unique unit for the Spartans. And these guys are really basic. It's just high HP, good armor, and yeah, that's it. They're pretty slow, though. So they're just strong, slow units. Good armor, slow movement speed. Like, it's like Teutonic Knight movement speed. Honestly, they feel like kind of worse Teutonic Knights. So I'm not too sure what their whole thing is. Strong against infantry and archers. I mean, I guess they can get buffed with the pole marks, which would make them, you know, better than Teutonic Knights, but that's really just with the buffs involved. They are pretty expensive, too, so maybe I'm missing something. Anyway, guys, that is going to be the Spartans. Again, really cool wonder over here. Basically, just infantry spam. Make lots of infantry and go burr. That is what they do. Nowhere near the tech tree of Athenians, but other than that, that is basically what they are good at. And so, guys, that is Chronicles of Greece. Again, there's a lot of effort put into this. I'll be really curious as to what you guys think of it. You have the Grand Campaign, which we'll have to see how that one goes. Of course, we'll be playing through that on this channel whenever I'm able to. And then, I mean, I honestly don't think I'll be really playing any, like, single-player games against the AI with the new civs or whatever. But we'll still play the campaign, and we'll have fun with it. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. Of course, be sure to stay tuned for more Chronicles of Greece content, or Chronicles Battle for Greece content. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of this DLC, and I'll see you next time.